Hello, I'm Jashykins, and this is going to be a synopsis and a sneak peek at SNN. Now, the synopsis will be about, of course, the most recent SNN section that I just completed last night, Forever Vigilant, and the sneak peek will be of the next section that probably won't be out for a month or two at least. So, yay! So anyways, in SNN Vigilant, it starts out with Samara Crichton, who is Nazilla's girlfriend. Samara's like, hey, listen, we need to go to the spa, and Nazilla at first doesn't want to do this because she's like, I'm a machine now. Spas don't do jack shit for me. And finally, Samara is able to convince Nazilla to come to the spa. And as they're, waiting, they see Glau, who was introduced in the S&N section, little dancer, and Nazilla has a little bit of a crush on. Yeah. And so she decides, hey, Samara, hang on a minute, I'm going to go over there. And of course, Nazilla has to reassure Samara because basically Nazilla hasn't really admitted her feelings and she still wants to stay with Samara. So she's like, hey, chill out, I'm going to talk over there. And so she goes and talks, and previously an SNN little dancer, Glau had invited Nazilla out to lunch. And so Nazilla figured, hey, I'm going to do this, maybe I'll get some information since Glau does work at Little Dancers, which is a ballet place. I'm really imaginative with my name sometimes, as you can tell. And so it ends up, Samara forces Nazilla to take her with her. So they go and they are ambushed. And so Glau is asking, hey, what about lunch? Why didn't you arrive? And Glau is acting like she doesn't know. And Nazilla gets mad, basically says, hey, you ambushed us. You ambushed us. And Glau starts to cry, and Nazilla walks away, and then Nazilla and Samara are getting a massage. I've never been to a spa before. Maybe I will in the future. I don't know. And so they get a massage, and as Samara's in the bathroom, one of the workers there, Rob Sames, decides to talk with Nazilla, and his pickup lines reveal that he has a plan for putting a virus in all future machines. And so Nazilla's like, okay. She makes sure this is all good information. And then what happens? Glau comes in, but Glau's not the sweet, innocent one we're used to. Turns out to be an M3, which is a machine. And so Nazilla tries to protect Rob, but what ends up happening is that through their fight, Rob gets killed. It's not revealed in this section who did it, but yeah. So yeah, that happens, and then Samara and Nazilla go back home, and they have to explain to the investigation team what's going on. And for those of you who've forgotten, the team includes Mark, the leader, Stuart, Martha, and Rebecca. And so they have to explain to them. And Stuart is his usual calm self. Mark and Rebecca are just waiting to lay blame on Nazilla for not realizing Glau was a machine before. And Martha is trying to comfort Nazilla, but can't really because she's under the command of Mark. And Samara's crying, and so Nazilla says that Glau had scram, which is a drug used to confuse sensors if someone is the machine. And so Nazilla's like, the time that I could see it was during the fight. It was disrupted, and I saw Glau for what she was, and one of the group asked, so why didn't you notice before, since Nazilla's the machine? And Nazilla admits, I liked her. And so afterwards, Nazilla goes to try to comfort Samara, but then showing that Nazilla is going along the dark route, or really the machine route, she tries to comfort Samara by saying, hey, Glau, who was your ex-lover, didn't really betray us. So, stop crying, blah, blah, blah. And Samara's shocked. And even though I don't stay in this chapter, I hope you people realize that Samara was shocked that Nazilla didn't value human life, because you realize to make them three, the real Glau had to be murdered, and this doesn't faze Nazilla at all. The section ends with Nazilla going, well, I tried to figure out what Samara was talking about for 5 minutes, and still nothing. And 5 minutes for Nazilla is maybe an hour. I still want to get that she thinks faster, so even 5 minutes would be a really long time to think about it. So that's SNN Forever Vigilant. It's available on my blog, jashykins.blogspot.com. It's also on my DeviantArt, alexerphoenix.deviantart.com. It has a blog, againstthenet.blogspot.com. And there's even sort of a Tumblr. You can send me a message if you want the Tumblr, because really nothing goes on there. Once, I actually start to utilize it a lot and feel comfortable with giving the URL away, I will. And now, the sneak peek. And the next section will be dun 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 dun. The next section of SNN will be the rule of logic. Now this one actually reveals a really, really tiny plot point in the first section of SNN. SNN The Change, that section, had a really, really, really small little clue of what this section will be dealing with. It was just basically one line that's thrown away, and if you're not looking for it, you won't find it. If you're not looking for it, you won't see it. And so I'm not really going to say too much about it, but the rule of logic. Logic is, well, let's see, some things that won't give the big giveaway about what this section is about. Let's see. Well, we find out that Carrot is captured, so the plot point involving Nazilla is that she has to rescue Carrot with the help of some of the members of the investigation team, as Mark and Samara are out doing something else. So yeah, the rule of logic. Da-da-da. So yeah, those faithful readers of mine, go back to S&M The Change. I won't say where it is, but yeah, there's a little hint. Of course, I plan out all the major plot points, when I outline, so I can do this really foreshadowing, so I can do this little thing here, and it turns out to be bigger down the line. And if you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe, like, share amongst your friends. If you're viewing this on my Jashykins blog, share amongst your friends, and thank you just for watching. And if you're watching this on Karma HQ, hardly anyone goes there. So if you're viewing this without me directing you here, so yeah. And until next video, goodbye.